Hey, GolfPass, Martin Chuck here, and this is all about the power of the pencil. You know, I've got my little notebook that I give to all my students at the Tour Striker Golf Academy, and I'll tell you, every week we have a camp, and one of the primary things that we realize we can help people right away is with their carry distance. I always ask people, write down your comfortable carry number for an 8-iron. And they write down some mythical figure that goes back into Greek lore, because I'll tell you what, it has absolutely nothing to do with their real carry number. So I'm gonna hit a few shots, we're gonna talk about this and how it relates to you finally breaking 80. So you have to know how far your shots carry. I'm not that interested in the total yardage, I'm interested in the carry. Let me hit a pitching wedge and you'll see I've got a golf ball on the grass and I've got one teed up. There's a big difference in these. Let me see if I can get a nice crisp one out there with a pitching wedge so we have a nice carry number on this. I'm anticipating in the neighborhood of 130 yards. That felt pretty good. I like it. So that was 129 yards. So when I have a carry of 129, I always leave a little room, because say you have a bunker, for example, you're trying to carry it over the front of a bunker, you need to be able to know that front of the bunker. What is my carry? And then you may have 10 or 15 yards to the pin. Now take notice, I've also got a ball on a tee. Why is it on a tee? Because you guys and gals out there are gonna have a par 3 tee shot and you're gonna have your golf ball teed up. And for the most part, you're gonna catch that ball a little more cleanly, and guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna fly a little farther. So I always allow for about a 5% increase. 5% increase when I'm hitting a shot off of a tee. So this would be just in the neighborhood, about 135 yards. This is my teed up pitching wedge. Let's see if I can get a crispy out there. And this is really important for you guys learning, and gals learning how to break 80. That ball just hit a little bit more up the face, and see, that's 136 carry. So really important, because I guarantee you, even the folks that are pretty skilled, the experienced golfers that come to my golf school, they really don't know how far they carry the golf ball. And I know I've got a launch monitor right here, it's helping me a ton. But before I had one of these, all I did was a couple simple things. I'm gonna move over to a 7-iron. So back in the old days, when these distance measuring devices came out, I would simply hit a pin off in the distance. So hitting a pin off in the distance would give me a reference for a total number. See, this is a big part of your development. Whether it's a wristwatch that gives you the yardages to the front, middle, back, whether it's a distance measuring device like this is huge, because I want you to have a real concept of how far you carry the golf ball. So I've got a shot off the grass and I'm going to hit one off a tee. I've got a 7-iron. Now my comfortable carry with a 7-iron in this situation, this is a beautiful Arizona day. And don't think for a second, if I'm somewhere else in a different climate where it's cold and windy and I've got sweaters on and it's cooler, when the air is cooler, the ball doesn't travel as far, and you need to think about that and make that adjustment. When it's a warm, beautiful day and you add a little humidity to that, the ball flies its farthest. So here's a shot, a 7-iron off the ground. Let's go ahead and hit one down there. So that felt pretty nice. That should be in the 165 category. I quite like it. It is 163, so pretty pleased with that. Now again, off of a tee, you know what you're gonna expect. You're gonna expect a few extra yards of carry. Now I've got a golf shirt on, it's a beautiful day in Arizona. I'm getting my normal yardages. And keep in mind, there's no wind right here. A little tip about your carry numbers. Into the wind hurts you a lot more than downwind helps you. So please be conscious of that. When you feel some wind into your face, you can always assume that that's gonna hurt. It's not equal, into the wind, downwind. It's not an equal one club wind. Into the wind, you can always say if it's a one club wind into the wind, it's really only half club help downwind. So remember that, downwind doesn't help as much. So let's hit a driver off of a tee. Let's have a little fun. Let's hit the chief, as I like to call it. Give this a full send. Now, as I get a little older, my driver numbers are changing. I don't quite hit this as far as I once did. I have to have a realistic carry. My carry for the driver, I swing the driver on average 105 miles an hour. If I'm really warmed up and cranking, I can get it to 110. So at 105 miles an hour, when I send one really nicely, I carry it about 255, 260, and then whatever the ground gives me. Now you'll notice with the irons, I didn't include the rollout. We're gonna talk about that. But for the driver, we have a total yardage in mind, but it's still imperative that you understand your carry number. So let's give the driver a little knock down there, see how we do. A little bit more robust freewheeling event. And there's a really nice strike down my target line. That might even go a little farther. So that was 266. I quite like that. And that was a low spin tumbling flight, 2200 spin, which is for me is perfect at a launch of 12. So that's really nice for me. That's like, that ball is gonna tumble out close to 300 yards when it's done. Now, for those of you challenging 80, think about this. You need to congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back. You've built in the technique and skills to crack 100, to crack 90. Now you're in that kind of, you know, that little place in golf where special skills are required to break 80. And most of it isn't really technique. I'm gonna walk you through technical pieces, no doubt about it, but I'm gonna help you make smarter decisions. In smarter decisions, everybody, let's be honest. Let's get the notebook out. Let's get the pencil ready. Let's know exactly how far you can carry your lob wedge, all the clubs through your set, your 3-wood, because as you start to improve, forced carries aren't scary. I'm not even mad if I mess up and I hit a shot into a pond. If I know I've got 160 to carry the pond and I hit my 165 club and I miss, it's on me. But there's no mystery to a crisp shot that carries a decent distance for me because the pond's really not in play. As you get better, you're gonna realize you're gonna be more concerned with what's to your right and what's to your left, not so much of what you are carrying it over once you really have certainty and true belief in your carry yardages. So you wanna break 80? Join me. Get your notebook out. Figure out a way to know your distances. And when you know your distances, you're going to have a confidence. The confidence to carry the front of the green, to know where that front of the green is, to land your golf ball there, land it in the middle, even challenge some back pins. We will talk about that in strategy, but we have to know our numbers. Let's get out the notebook, let's find some targets and be certain about your carry distances.